Welcome to the Integrate This EdTech podcast. We are in our final video of our Tech in 10 ChatGPT for Teachers series. And we just covered assessments. And what we're going to look at right now is actually productivity tips while you're using this. One of the great advantages of when you're in ChatGPT for Teachers is with that try something new that you see on the screen there, where you can shuffle those. A lot of the productivity is actually going to be built into those individual activities. But I wanted to combine that with a couple of extra tips of things that have been around for a little bit, things that I've done, and usually will, when I do my trainings, recommend for teachers as well, because they're going to be things that save you time. One of them being prompt frameworks, and the other actually grabbing the text from the questions of the cards that are in ChatGPT for teachers and using that in a document basically to set up some placeholders. So then you can quickly like change things out and just always have those templates ready and available to you. So we're going to take a look first at the document that I have, and I'm going to link this in the show description so that you'll see this link in there, and then you'll be able to just make a copy of this. So this prompt framework is actually, and there's a bunch of frameworks out there, but this is one that I found useful from Ruben Hassid, which is someone that I follow on LinkedIn. And he does a lot of cool stuff with a variety of tools, but also specifically prompting and the different types of prompting that you can do. And this one is actually called prompt. That's kind of the breakdown. But this is going to be a prompt starter. So what I would say is, in a general sense, like if you're using any chat bot, you can put in this prompt and then you'll be able to just kind of plug in your different pieces, right? And the main pieces of this framework in particular are purpose, role, order of action, mold the format, personality, and tight controls. So each having a specific use to it so that when you're writing out your prompt, it's very well thought out. There are the individual pieces that you've considered and put in. Because as we know, if you put in you can certainly just start having a conversation with the chatbot, but the only thing is it doesn't really give it direction very quick, and you don't get moving in the direction that you want to. So this will help a lot with that, and so you can save this and you can save it as your own copy, play around with it as you want to. But this will be a time saver just in the sense of constructing your prompt. Now, as I mentioned, one of the things that you have the benefit of is if you were to start from scratch, you could put in that prompt. So let's just say, for the sake of this, that this is actually a complete prompt, although this is just the skeleton of it where you could plug things in. But we could put in the chat, and we could do this from scratch if we wanted to. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually where we've been for a while, and that's great. But as I mentioned at the beginning, with the try something new cards in ChatGPT for teachers, the benefit is that it's already got instructions to inquire things from you, right? So if we do something like create learning objectives to save ourselves some time, the thing that you'll notice about the cards, any card that you use, is that it's going to say, okay, first, I need a little bit of information from you. I need you to tell me about the topic of the unit. So with our learning objectives, right? So then please confirm or provide the following. So in this case, it's going to ask you, it tells you that it needs the grade level, the subject area, standards framework, and any specific teaching context. So the thing that I notice about this is that it's very much in the vein of our prompt framework and how it wants this specific information, because then it's going to give you a better output, right? We use the term garbage in, garbage out. So if you do a one-line prompt and there's so much missing, we know that these AI chatbots are predictive programs, and so they have to do a lot of guesswork in what it thinks that you want, right? So if you lay that out from the very beginning, it's going to be very helpful. So my thought is this: what you could do is you could actually take and copy the things that you find here and do something like we've done with the prompt starter. But what if you start to create a document with these various pieces in here? Because then you kind of got your placeholders, and you could spend a little time working on these, plugging in the grade level, the subject area, standards framework, and then any specific teaching context. There's nothing wrong with writing this out just in an answer, but what's nice is if you save these and as placeholders in your document, then you can come back and kind of play around with them. You can make copies of them for your different classes, put in the different subject areas and all that type of stuff. And then anytime you go to the card, right, it's just plug and go. You won't. You can do a little bit of the work ahead of time and have those ready to go, rather than kind of thinking on the fly and saying, okay, I got to fill all this out. You can avoid all that. But the other part that it puts in here is optional but very helpful. You're welcome to upload a curriculum map or standards document. My suggestion with productivity is that whenever you can, right, upload things like standards, these documents that have already been created, upload your curriculum maps. When you're doing things, maybe it's not the learning objective. Maybe what we're doing is we're going to do an activity. If you have an example in mind of an activity that you would like to use, and you have that in a document, upload that into here, right? Certainly, you could still put in like grade level, subject, class length. All those things are important. But then on top of that, I would even put in examples through the files option when you're using this tool. And that would really go for any of these. You could put those documents in when you're trying to create, and you'll see here there's a number of different cards. When you shuffle them, you'll see all sorts of things like reading materials. You'll see create a worksheet, create a slide, create a quiz. Right, all those things are probably going to be uh, ones that you've already got, stuff you've done in the past. And so if you can combine thinking ahead about, okay, I want to write out my prompt. If I'm using it from scratch, and put in the different pieces. If I'm going to use the cards, why not have the placeholders of already there? Have them written out, and then be able to just plug them into when I'm starting a card. These will all be really helpful things for you, just to save you some time and be able to get things that you want a bit quicker. So uh, I really love what they've done here with the try something new. This is where it differs a bit from the traditional ChatGPT, with the release of ChatGPT for teachers, which Jeremy gave us the great overview of. Uh, this makes this a better entry point for teachers with this card area, because you don't have to necessarily start from scratch. So again, wanted to provide you with some tools for productivity if you are starting from scratch, if you're kind of in that pathway, or if you want to get into setting up for yourself these placeholders, saving them so that when you come and you start one of these cards, you've already got some things laid out and you can move a little bit quicker. One last thing here, just from a productivity perspective, is you can also on this side see that there is a project area. And this is where too you can, create a project, and then you'll be able to add things to this. So this is going to be great for productivity too, really just for organization, the ability to share this with people. So you'll see like Jeremy's on here, right? The ability to share things and work in this space through the projects area, put in different files, manage your conversations, organize those type of things. That's just great for productivity as well, because you can quickly come back to them, and you're not sitting there searching through all the chats. There is the search feature, which has been very helpful, but I think if you lean towards projects, that's probably going to be a bit more helpful, and kind of more reminiscent of maybe how you organize something like Google Drive or something like that. So I hope these productivity tips help, and you can try some of them out. If you have any that you have in mind or think about, or that you've done during the video, feel free to put those in the comments below. And just remember to, in the description, you will see the copy link for this document. Thanks for watching.